So I feel that innovation in family business is definitely encouraged by the first generation to us right now. And our business is that sort that it is interlinked with technology. So if we don't innovate every day, it is like a do or die situation for us every day. So we have to constantly innovate in terms of technology, in terms of new products to actually keep ahead of the competition. We are the only Indian company in this field competing on a global scale. So actually, I agree with the Professor Paripirimal that there is no point of going out and venturing into new things when if you have the opportunity in the existing business itself, if you can scale that up.
In Indian family business context, I think improvisation is a much better word, because on a daily basis we actually have to improvise, whether it comes to client dealing, whether it comes to dealing with the government, or anything for that matter. Even if it comes to dealing with your wife, you have to improvise on it.
I think what's going to happen in future is
Little
that
closer.
Unless and until every business sort of has a focused viewpoint on technology and how it's going to disrupt their business and actually going to create new businesses which are competing, I think many businesses will get impacted. And we have seen that around the world. And if we had to sort of just go around the city like Bangalore or Chennai and all these places, we had all these cab companies, right, traditionally. And all of those cab companies grew along with the IT companies providing employee transport, etc. But all those cab companies reached a particular point of time. They were all family run. And after that, all of them have now sort of got stopped at a particular point of time, and many of them are declining because they forgot to see, or they were unable to see how technology is going to change the cab business altogether. Similarly, I think, you had a great point that technology, what's going to happen to most of the businesses. I think what every family business should do is that they should have, for lack of a better word, like a council of independent friends, families, advisors who actually come in and start giving independent perspective on what's happening around the world. Because what happens in the family business, people are just so focused within the family that the thoughts are also very homogeneous, trying to think about, very focused, internally driven about their own business, because that's all they know. So sometimes they miss what's happening around the world. And they have a formal system of looking at A, what's technology going to do their business, and B, what's the external trend like. I think that's going to be a great starting point for most businesses to tackle threat of technology and even threat of competition actually.
Right.
Unfortunately, most families look at businesses as past performance, as you were saying. So past performance is no guarantee of future returns. This is one thing which I learned part of the media fund industry, fund management industry, and which most patriarchs or matriarchs don't really realize when they're handling.
People diversifying into other markets, and being the concept of entrepreneurship and innovation. But I think there's so much scope within businesses, and it may not be the biggest disruption, where like the taxi, with Uber coming in and other taxis kind of being irrelevant sort of. Just in my business, Ice Cream Works, I started in 2012, and just the small sort of technology stuff that we've used right from our ERP system in operations, we were having a lot of problems with inventory and kind of managing those sort of things. As we scaled up, we were growing faster than we kind of knew what to do with. The technology coming in where we can now barcode every bulk of ice cream and we know exactly where it is and where it's been and which storeroom it's located in, etc. So I think, younger generations and definitely can bring in sort of innovation in these sort of ways as well within the business. And I think what Professor Merchant was talking about, where earlier generations need to guide and support the younger generations, I completely agree with that, and that's been my personal experience with my father, where I think we do argue and we do discuss and we may have a different point of view on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's the way we've complemented each other where the business has been able to scale in the last 9 years of us working together. So I think that's been a huge part of it, where he's sort of got the wisdom and he's really the creative force, and what I've been able to bring to the table is the operations and
the topic here is innovation, right? Is there a difference between how family businesses innovate versus how non-family businesses?
Innovation and family business are much more, because you have much more guiding factors, you much more have case studies, we can analyze situations. So innovation chances and success in family business, I think, would be higher than.
You want to be rated 1 and 1A, which is the highest level. Have you actually suggested process improvements? Have you questioned processes? Have you come to your boss and said, this is not working, this is an alternative way of working? So that culture got built in Kamal's time heavily, and that led to a lot of innovations. Till today, when I use an app, I'm banking with 3-4 banks, and when I use an ICICI Bank app versus an Axis Bank or an IndusInd Bank, there's a sea level of difference between the usage of the apps. So the industry has moved, finance industry has moved, the innovation engine has continued to chug along. So I think it's more of a culture which you build in rather than whether it's family-led or whether it is professional-led.
Yes,
True.
Not all
I
family.
support that view,
Yeah.
that it's the culture of the organization and not whether it is family-led or professional-led.
Yes.
Because you may have faced a patriarch who's very amenable.
Definitely.
I have seen patriarchs who just do not agree to change. So there have been organizations which have a process of innovation. If the biggest, I would say, an example of professionalized innovation is in the Reliance Group. I would say that they have the best innovation system laid in the system. And the innovation that they have done right from day one till what they have done now is proof of that. But it is not because it's family or it's the organization, it's the culture that they built in. They have an innovation council where they have experts from around the world who suggest changes. And each change suggested to that council is actually vetted. And if an employee of the Reliance Group suggests any change, he is given a capital to work on that and spend some time on that.